Frosty Tools says Frosty's Freepland battery is running low, waiting for benefactors to share some of their frosty power and keep the magic going here. Stream Element says Just A Streams is now lit. Streaming Madden NFL 27, Shedeur Sanders is officially taking over Cleveland. Police car lights, Madden 27.
To really steal this game away, you're starting with the ones you could have made some bigger splash plays, and he just didn't do it, right? Now, not to say that he was terrible, he was really awful, but the fact that Shedeur Sanders threw an interception but is still firmly in this competition just shows you how much Deshaun Watson really dropped the ball, and at the same time shows you that Shedeur Sanders needs to make a really big impact against the Bills this next upcoming preseason game to ensure that he can be the preseason week 1 starter. He's got joint practice Thursday and another game where he gets to start to really prove that number 2 can be QB1. This is what he needs to do right now. So starting off with the good, obviously, first things first. I mean, this is the first throw of the game. He's able to show you what he brings so well. And while I was watching this game, the thing that interests me the most is to see the things that Shedeur got criticized the most about and how he improved it. So the thing that you're going to see here is not afraid to stand in that pocket. Right now, this is a deeper 7-step drop. 7-step drop whenever you do play action, because you have to do your steps in play action. And I would say his under center what's it called, operation probably needs to be cleaned up a little more. Maybe the footwork at the top of his play action needs to be cleaned up more, but consistently he has been the most consistent thrower of the football. As for this first throw, he had a few batted balls, but then on that same drive, of course, he has probably one of the plays of the game. Again, what are we looking for? I'm looking for a guy who's willing to stand in the pocket. Shedeur Sanders last year would drift and drift and drift. Now, this is a deep drop back, but again, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this was a play action pass, but I could be wrong. So he is pretty deep here. Now, I will say that, but he gets to his depth, right? He has 7-8 people coming at him. He stops and he says, I'm going to stand in this pocket and deliver, and he's able to find his guy Luke Floria, Kent State legend, right? That was probably those 2 better passes, but it wasn't the end of his great passes. However, we need to acknowledge the pass that almost wiped his entire day away. I honestly thought Shedeur Sanders was decisive. I thought he was showing me, hey, you're standing in that pocket, you're delivering, you're finding your check down. I was kind of impressed just from the small thing I was seeing. I wasn't expecting a bunch of fireworks, but he still wanted to push the ball down the field, and I was excited to see that. Now here, this is simply Shedeur Sanders making a bad mistake. There's no other way for me to tell you. Now, I'm going to let Shedeur explain it to you, but from watching it, when I initially saw it, I thought maybe there might have been, when I was watching it live, maybe there was a miscommunication because it was a really bad match. Right? So Shedeur's going to set up here. And the thing that kills this the most, right? The reason why I'm not just going to allow Shedeur to just get away with this as a guy who rocks with Shedeur, and I'm hoping that he continues to develop as he showed that he has. The thing where I have to kill you is I praise Shedeur about what he did on third downs, right? I praise that, hey, if you look at the EPA last year, people want to talk about EPAs and bad and left and right. What Shedeur Sanders did on third down was actually operate pretty good. Now, again, what I want to say is, look what he didn't do. He didn't drift in that pocket. He stood in that pocket, even though the pocket got a little muddy, right? You have people bearing down on you. And I think one of the bigger, really, if you want to make excuse or really explanations for this ball is, first off, he can't step all the way into this throw because he has a giant defender in there. Shedeur Sanders, we're going to listen to him, but he says the ball slipped out of his hands. And then, of course, some quarterbacks actually had some interesting thought process about this. But on 3rd and 8, you just can't have that, right? I mean, Malachi Corley is booty naked open, and again, where preseason is more about it's quizzes and not necessarily one big thing that you fail or pass. This play you failed with flying colors, right? Because you read it right. You read the right concept. You got the ball there on time. But when it happens to actually hit him, where he has look at this. Look at the defenders like this is a giant triangle that he has. If Shedeur can just settle up and get this ball down, right, he has that, and he might even have him too. I can't see that there's another defender here, but that's what's so backbreaking about this. It's on third down. You had a really good dagger concept, and he just was not able to really capitalize off of. At the time, was a decent, really a decent preseason game where he was figuring things out. Now, we saw the bad interception. We saw the good balls. What I want to see, wait a minute, wow. Hey, yo. What I want to see and what I hear is some of the opinions from Browns media members, some of the opinions from people who really know football, because I thought it was pretty interesting that even after the interception, I know a lot of people were like, oh my God, it's over. I just didn't feel like that. I felt like if I'm looking at what Shedeur Sanders needed to improve on, he improved on it. Now, he needs to take care of the ball. He needs to not let the ball slip out of his hands. But at the end of the day, and I think Spencer German said it pretty good. This is a guy who, this is Spencito. He does a lot of things with the Browns, media member. He says there was nothing exceptional from Deshaun Watson today. I can concur. 4.4 air yards is a ho-hum as it gets. But given how low the bar was, game manager Watson may be the best anyone can ask for. For Shedeur Sanders, the interception will overshadow everything else. It was a bad throw, but there are legit signs of growth in his pocket presence and feel for getting rid of the football. He also clearly still gives the Browns their best chance at pushing the ball downfield. Today won't change the general feelings about either quarterback. More work to do for both there, and context matters, but it certainly wasn't all bad. And that is really how I felt about it. I'm going to read a few more people, right? Like, if you watch the full